And
Hi.
so how are you doing?
So, just a second. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yes.
So how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I was just trying to open the link. It like some issue on WhatsApp. Sorry.
Yeah. So can you just briefly introduce yourself?
Yeah. I'm Navneet Mathur. I am a sophomore in Energy Science and Engineering department. Um, I've come from MPU Gen. That's where I'm sitting right now. And yeah, I have been a part of various activities in my first year. I have tried to participate in the competition, the tech competitions of Accelerate, RC Clean, etc., etc. Um, I have been a part of the Mood Indigo coordinator team, the Mood Indigo team, um, and in the competitions and LYP department, and I've also been a part of my department's council.
Okay. So can you just go through your major projects which you have mentioned in your resume?
All right. So, one major project was a reading project on combinatorial game theory in my summer of science. So, initially, I was actually not really aware of what will be there in combinatorial game theory. But when I started it, it was mostly around what kind of like if I try to speak very broadly, what I learned was that there are two different types of games, two different types of combinatorial game. One was parties and one was impartial, where it was divided on the basis of are is there any difference between player A and player B. So we began with that, and then we went a little deeper into the impartial games, where it was it was kind of started that the game itself is decided even before the game is started. So for every impartial game, if player A and player B are playing, then it is very much it can be one player can force the other player into winning the game, and then there were mathematical expressions for it. I studied Sprague-Grundy theorem and how to then predict the name, how to then predict the winner of the name game, etc. And I also went a little into parties and games, and there I think I found the most interesting part. Hi, sorry, my mic went off in the middle.
Yeah.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. So I think that's when I found the most interesting part. That was that. So, for example, um, in chess, if I am allowed to play two moves, then I have one extra move in the middle of it. But there were some situations where it showed that I have half an extra move. Like mathematically, it was equivalent to having half an extra move. So that was, I think, the cool part for me, and also the mathematical challenging part for me. So that was overall what I did in my reading project. Yes.
Can you explain the Sprague-Grundy theorem?
All right. So I'll I'll say it like this. So Sprague-Grundy theorem gives me a way to predict who will win in the impartial game, given that we know the starting conditions of the impartial game. So let's say that I'm playing a name game and I'm playing it with n heaps. So I have a standard known solution that the name sum of the heaps, if it is zero, then uh, this person who the person who there is previous player and next player categorization in the impartial games. So if my name sum is zero, then my previous player is has won the game, and if not, then vice versa. So Sprague-Grundy theorem basically says that if I get uh, So there is a function in it called the MEX function, maximum exclusive function, where what I do is that if I have n integers, so let's say I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's say I have 0, 1, 2, 4. So the minimum exclusive integer is 3 here. So I'll bring that out, and it's actually an iterative function. Like after the MEX for the Grundy function, you have to make it as an iterative function. So you actually bring all those numbers out, and finally, what you get of G of that state. If that is zero, then the previous player is winning, and if not, then the next player is winning.
Uh, you didn't participate in Summer of Fun?
I participated. I started with the first 2 weeks, but then I couldn't really continue. Like I actually did not understand for a time issue as well. But I did read for the financial. I'm sorry, the technical analysis part and a little of the calculus and probability part.
So what all did you read?
So in technical analysis, I actually went through the entire module that was present on the website of Varsity, um, of the candlestick patterns, how to interpret what a candlestick pattern shows, the indicators of the major indicators, RSI, Bollinger Bands, etc., and what do they actually indicate and how to interpret them when I see them in the chart itself.
Can you explain RSI?
So RSI is a momentum indicator sort of a thing. So I I think I do not exactly remember how I calculate RSI, but um, here is so if it's a 14-day RSI, then in a 14-day RSI there will be moving averages counted for those 14 or maybe plus 115 days, and then we do something sort of 100 by 100 minus uh, total gain by total loss. If I'm not really sure about that mathematical expression, but it is something like this, and we get a number between 0 and 100, and that number uh, indicates one or two things to us. So one interpretation of that might be that if the number is more than 70, then the stock is actually overpriced, and it the prices will fall down. And if the price is under 30, then the stock might be undervalued and the prices will go up. But that is one interpretation of it. If it has been consistently higher, more than 70, then if I mean this interpretation will work when the stock prices are moving horizontally, but when there is a trend going on, then the exact opposite will happen. If it's more than 70, more than 80, then the stock prices are already going up and they'll keep going up, and same for the reverse.
What is your work in AUV? What all are you doing?
I was a software trainee in AUV. Like I was not assigned a specific task till then.
So what happened? You didn't got selected or you left?
So actually, yeah, we were like I spent 3 4 months there. We learned about the robot operating systems and how to write Python codes for ROS2 and everything. But I was not really sure about what I was doing there as a team. I mean, as how I was contributing to the team. And I was a little unsure about if I like robotics in general or not. So um, I did not continue on with the team.
Uh, what is this optimizing scheduling strategies project?
In that strategy, like for that project, I'm actually doing that project right now. It has not been completed. It's a course project for my topics and operation research course, in which um, uh, Indian public transport is being studied. So how, if given that I have such a dense railway network, how do I plan which train, when to send which train and where? And like there were n number of constraints where one train, like there are n number of constraints where one train cannot be at more than one place, and then I have to really map them in time as well, so that a train carriage does not sit idle for a long time as well. So uh, so the course project is about trying to fit in a model that, uh, given given the conditions, it brings me some information about which train, how to schedule my train. And
So how are you solving this
so
using
I,
MDPs?
sorry.
How are you solving this using MDPs? What is your state space? What is your action space?
Yes. um I'll Let me just take a minute. I mean, it was more around exploring the ideas of uh, it was more around exploring the idea of how uh, trains in a like, I'll tell you like this. So firstly, we were told that, like, in Mumbai, how the local train run. So there will be a fast local, or there will be a slow local, and so this is one sort of a system in which trains can run. And in the, like, overall, we were seeing how these constraints are applied, but um, in a more specific topic, we were seeing if the possibility of an AB type system of a train might work. So in Delhi Metro, what the Delhi Metro in fact is trying to come up with is a possible route where there will be one single route which is heavily occupied, and there will be a few stations which are very much in demand. So I need to stop trains at those few stations. Now, if I have a single route, then can I actually send in a train send in two types of trains. One train that stops at all the A stations. I'll label some stations as A and some stations as B, and some important stations as A and B both. So one train that can cover all the A stations, one train that can cover all the B stations, and there be no slack between them. That is what we were trying to mathematically analyze. So in that, we like, I was actually going through a graphical approach where I'll draw the population on the station versus time diagram, and try to see how much the average waiting time is, and if this these two trains can actually somehow overtake each other, because I have a single route, and this overtaking will only be possible on stations. And because there are different stations for both these two trains and only a few common stations, then perhaps maybe this overtaking is not really possible. So yeah, that is the side I'm working on.
So we also have an understanding of MDPs,
MPPs.
MDPs, Markov decision.
Yes, uh, I have an understanding of the state space diagrams. Um, I have done that for the analysis of sports, the one versus one sports that we play. So the state space analysis of how a badminton game might go, given that one player has winning probability P and the other player has one minus P.
Just give me.
Yeah.
या नो सर पता है। आ, ये बताना। आ, ठीक है, ये सब। Do you have any experience in programming?
Yes, I have like I've been doing uh, my DS23 course and EE467 courses where there is some programming involved.
And any experience in competitive programming or DSA?
Um, no, not in competitive.
And how much do you know in machine learning, data
Sorry,
analysis,
your
these sort of? How much do you know in machine learning, data analysis?
um, I think
Apart
I'm
from DS203, like in your projects, what all have you used?
okay. So apart from DS23, I have been doing E467 course in which I had to do the time series analysis of load energy load data of households. So I know how to apply Sarima or Arima forecastings. Um, I and yeah, the other techniques that we covered in E467 were also covered in DS23. So the exclusive one was for series forecastings.
Can you explain me, Sarima?
Okay, so Sarima is seasonal autoregressive integrated moving averages. Um, it is a forecasting technique used for data that has seasonality in it. So how we break down, this is how I have understood that if I have some time series data and it looks in some particular fashion, then that fashion can be broken down into majorly four components. One will be the trend that is lying behind the entire data set. The other will be cycles, and cycles and seasons. I really have not understood the difference between them, but it was more like that cycles are even larger, like some business cycle sort of a thing, and seasonality or seasons are more aligned, like they are much more periodic and predictable. And finally, there will be the errors or the things that we cannot really predict. So that is how they break the entire time series down. And using that, we want to using this type of a model, we want to uh, build a forecasting model. So this was one part, and then there were then I actually tried reading upon what my AR and what my MA modeling is. So for that, I went and yeah, I read something called the random walk, and how using that random walk function, the Z function, they try to make the AR modeling and the MA modeling, where the MA is more on how much how am I learning from the errors that I have previously made, and the AR is more on how am I learning from the values that I have previously got. And then in the practical implementations of Sarima, what I found was that I need to get 7 parameters to do the entire forecasting. So there will be small p, small d, small q, and capital P, capital D, capital Q, and an S. If I have all these 7 parameters, then if I have all these 7 parameters correctly, then my forecasting will be good. So to find those parameters, there were various tests that I had to run of the Dicker-Foley test to get if the entire this thing is stationary or not. And if it is not stationary, then what value of small d should I have? Similarly, if it is seasonally stable or not. If it is not, then I'll have to difference it once again with some time period, which might be very close to the season, and that is how I'll get my capital D. Then to get my small p, small q, capital P, capital Q, I have to plot my ACF and PACF plots, where I have to see where my cumulative frequency is cutting off. And you seeing that, and also some iterations, I'll get to my these PQ values. And finally, I'll need the seasonality itself of the data, that will be smallest. So it is like in the energy load case, it was because it was daily data, then that seasonality was of 7, that every week the load curve showed similar insights. But it could have been 30, or maybe even 365 to see monthly or yearly seasonality.
Do you have you done any probability questions for quant as such?
I yeah, like I if I see something on Google, I actually like such questions. Uh, they are
So let's try one.
yeah.
Just share your screen.
Share my screen.
Yeah, try this.
It's loaded in running on band. Everything.
Also think out loud, whatever is coming in your mind.
Yeah. Storage and loaded in guns. Down band has rid of the barrel has fast missiles. Almost fired once, but nowhere to shot. Does rolling the barrel for the next shot increase the probability of firing a bullet? All right. So I definitely know what the probability um, is if I have rolled the barrel. So if I've rolled the barrel, I've essentially just resetted the entire situation. So that will of if I have to see the probability of firing a bullet, then yeah, that will be simply 2C1 by 6C1. Sorry, how many uh, I have to shoot a bullet? Yeah, so if I've rolled the barrel, then I just have to, yeah, that will be 2 out of 6. But if I have fired it once, and I have not really rolled it, then my probability will be updated. So if I have fired it once, then yeah, that will be 2 by 5. Um, and Does my probability increase? No, it decreases.
Think again that when you are not shuffling
Hmm.
and it is provided that in your first shot, no bullet was observed.
Hmm.
So what will be the probability that in the next shot a bullet is observed? Think again.
Okay, so I have also been given the information that two bullets are loaded into gun's barrel round consecutively. I initially did not pay attention to consecutively. If that is the case, then all right. So let's say that uh, all right. So there could have been only these four roles which were in my first attempt. So if I was here, then my uh, no bullet is shot. I'm also trying to think in the Bayes updation of probability sort of thing that uh, maybe I can try applying that probability of uh, the next probability. But how will that work? How do I deal with consecutivity? So um, and here. So okay. Uh, if I have four slots and I'm very sure that in my initial firing, only one of these four slots was fired. If it would have been this slot, then in the next slot there would be um, a shot fired, but in these three slots there would not be a shot fired. So it is actually one in four chances that there will be a bullet in the next slot. But if I have really rolled it, and if I've really rolled it, then it does not matter if barrel is consecutively or not consecutively. So that will still be 2 in 6.
Can you check the answer?
Yes.
Um, Try this one. See the
Sorry.
chat.
Okay. Line of 100 passengers is waiting. Change holiday. And say that nth passenger in loading has a ticket for a seat number N. Alright. Being drunk, the first person in loading picks a random seat. All the other passengers over and so will go to the assigned seats unless it is already occupied. If it is occupied, they will then find a free seat to sit in at random. What is the probability that the last person to board the plane will sit in their own seat? All right. So the first thing that I'll do is try to reduce the problem into maybe let's say two passengers to start with. So if I have two passengers to start with, and the first person is drunk, then the probability that he'll pick someone else, the second passenger's seat will be 1/2. And if his probability is 1/2, then the probability that yeah, so the probability that the last person will go sit in his own seat will be 1/2 in the case of two passengers. Now let me count for three. If there are three passengers and the first one comes up, and the first one comes up and decides to sit in someone else's place. So if he wants to sit in his own place, then everything is fine. Then this person will go sit in his seat. But if he decides to sit in second person's seat, then the probability of sitting in second person's seat is 1/3, and the probability for the second person to sit in the first person's seat will then be 1/2. And so yeah, there will be uh, if I have to count what is the probability that player three per passenger three does not get his own seat. So one way will be when passenger one sits on second person seat and passenger two sits on um okay, sorry, let me count it in a different fashion. I am calculating the probability that passenger three will get his seat. So one possibility is that passenger one sits in his own seat, so that will be 1/3. um then it will be that passengers one and two exchange their own seats. So if sorry, if that is to happen, then passenger one will come up and he'll sit with 1/3 probability into uh, 1/2 probability of passenger two. And is there a third possibility? No. In if passenger two has to sit here, then one has. Okay, so that will be the entire set. So that will be 1/3 plus 1/2 into 1/3. Um, Now let me extend it to four. Uh, okay. In fact, originally it was just 1/2. This time it is 1/3 plus 1/2 into 1/3. If I now extend it to four, I have to make so one possibility is that with a 1/4 probability, this passenger sits here. If not, then maybe passenger one can again sit on passenger two seat and two can go on one seat. So that will be 1/4 into 1/3. Uh, and the other people just go sit in their own seats, or it will be that he exchanges it with passenger 3. But if he wants to exchange it with passenger 3, then passenger 2 has to sit in his own seat. So that will be 1/4 into 1/3. Uh, yeah, he comes up there, so that will be 1/4. Then passenger 2 comes up here, and so sorry, passenger 2 will sit in his own seat, so that is not really required. So that will be 1/4 into again it will, but because passenger 2 is already seated, passenger 1 is already seated, so that will be just two seats left. So then it will be 1/4 into 1/2. Wait, if it's 1/4 into 1/2, how will I really extrapolate it? Earlier, I was thinking that maybe if this one also comes 1/4 into 1/3, then I'll have some expression of NC into this probability. And because I was seeing that there is a 1/2 initially, then there is a 1/3, and there is a 1/4 individual terms. Then in the case of two passenger, there was not a multiple of two terms. Here there was a multiple of two terms. Here I am getting one, and then I can also get a three times multiplied thing, but I don't think that this extension will work. So
Yeah, maybe like continuing on your approach only. If uh, one sits on second seat and second sits on first seat, then the four will sit on his seat.
yes,
And if one sits on second seat, second sits on third seat, and third sits on first seat,
even then fourth will sit on his
even
own.
then fourth will sit on that seat. And I think we missed this case.
Yeah, I just said that if three people shuffle, then there will be a
Right. Okay,
three
three
multi.
people shuffle. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
but there was this initial problem that I was getting a 1 by 4 into a 1 by 2 this time.
right. I
I
got
got
it.
a 1 by 4
Yeah,
into one
you
by
were
three.
expecting a pattern that something will emerge and you will uh, solve it through some series or something.
Yes.
Yeah. The, the pattern which you will notice in this is not this, but uh, the can you calculate the final answer for this? The four passenger case.
Um. Yeah. So that will be it will be 1 by 4 plus 1 by 3 into 1 by 4 into 1 by 3 plus 1 by 4 into 1 by 2. And if I have to make all of them sit in each other's places, then it will be 1 by 4 into 1 by 3 into 1 by 2. That will be there. And yeah, these will be the only three cases. So that will be how much? 1 by 4 plus 1/3 plus 1/2. So 1 plus 4 by 3, and that will be 4 by 3 plus half, that will be 11 by 6. And then there is this 1 by 3 into 1 by plus 1 by 6 as well. It's 12 by 6. So 2 into 1/2. I'm getting
What was the answer for three passenger case?
uh for three passenger case, it was 1 by for three passenger case it was 1 by 3 plus 1 by 2 into 1 by 3. So oh yeah, half again. And initially it was half as well. So it will be half for 100 people as well.
Let me check the answer.
Yeah,
Let's try a different approach in this case. Let's say, let's solve for the 100 passenger case itself.
all right.
Let's say one sits on 37th seat number.
Hmm,
Then all the passengers from 2 to 36 will get their seats.
hmm,
It is only the 37th person who has to choose from 1 and 38 to 100
hmm,
these seats.
hmm.
So now take it further.
Okay. Um, if so, in order for the last person to get his seat, I need to ensure that no one takes his seat. Uh, and how do I? So somebody has to take one seat in this entire process. If
Right.
if
Right. Except 100, someone has to take one seat.
except 100, in this entire chaos, if someone decides to take one seat in the middle of it, then there will be no further issues. Uh,
Right.
no, wait. If 37 decides to take 63's seat, uh, and then in the and yeah, the rest will keep on sitting, then it is upon 63 where to go. So 63 can also pick anyone, and this entire thing will keep going. But at the end of the day, there will be one person who will be left with the seat, and that he has to go to one seat. So at the end of the day, he'll just choose between 100 or one, uh, whose seat the like if 100 is the important person, then and these 98 people are not important, then the last unimportant person has to choose between 100 or one, and both are equally likely for him to be chosen.
Can you explain this again?
So like as you said that one one decided to sit on 37 seat,
Yeah.
then 37 can go sit on randomly anyone's seat. Let's say he decides to go on 63. So from 38 to 62, everyone will get their own seats. Now it is about 63 to go anywhere between 63 and 99. And I'm saying that this entire process of chaos will keep on running, and this will only stop if one person who has been deprived of his own seat will go and sit on first number one seat, because number one is the only empty and the seat that will stop this chaos. So every time I do this thing, it would not matter until one last person decides to choose between seat number 100 or seat number 1, because seat number 100 has not been occupied yet and seat number 1 will also has not been occupied. So it is this choice. If he decides to sit on 100 seat, then the problem fails, and if he decides to sit on number 1 seat, then the problem passes. So
And both are equally likely to
yeah.
make sense. Yeah. My approach, yeah, your answer is fantastic, absolutely correct. My approach was, now the 37th person has seats from 38 to 100 and seat number 1.
Hmm,
If he sits on seat number 1, then the whole thing is sorted.
hmm.
And if he does not, then the problem reduces
Mhm.
to
37% problem.
100 minus 37 problem.
Yes, yes,
37 problem. Yeah.
yes. Interesting.
And
Yes.
yeah. So like you can write that f of 100 is equals to, if one chooses, let's say 37, the odds are 1 over 100,
Hmm.
times f of 100 minus 37.
I got that.
Yeah, and just you can sum it.
Hmm.
Yeah, that would also lead to the correct answer. Hmm.
And that was
Yeah,
faster to think actually. This entire iteration was a little, it took me very long to come up with.
yeah. This solution also took me a while to come up with. Okay, so tell me an instance in which your project was going out of the track and you made it on the track again.
Um, okay. All right. I think it was not like we participated in RC plane, and in RC plane competition, we had to build a model aircraft and then try to fly it on the Gymkhana grounds. So at I think at one point, even as freshers, we had just too many expectations from ourselves that, oh, we'll design this very accurately and we'll make it a very good looking aircraft or something, and then we'll do this thing, and do this thing as well. But eventually time constraint kicks in, and you have to really focus on what you are trying to do, what basic objective you are trying to achieve. So at one point we were just really going on with the discussion of various ideas. We even had a fifth year aerospace guy, not fifth, sorry, fourth year aerospace guy, who was just telling us that, oh, all these possibilities are possible. But eventually we decided, I mean, I tried to convince the team ki, let's just uh, let's just go ahead with what we have. We actually got some issues with the material as well. So, like I think what I just tried to tell the team was, ki, let's move ahead with the plan, and we made a working model first, and after making a working model, let's then add the updations or whatever we have to do. I think that was an important time, but because if we had gone ahead with the more designing ideas, then we would not have been able to finish the project. So,
When was the last time you got a very good sound sleep?
a very good sound sleep. Uh, I think 2 days before just when I came here.
Uh, Take me through your day on that day.
So I I took my train from Mumbai. Just arrived home at 8 a.m. and yeah, it was a day previous to Diwali, so a lot of household work. Uh, like like I could do nothing else except just clean the house and do stuff and um yeah, prepare food with my mom, the sweets and everything. And at the end of it, we just went to buy some decorative items for home. And uh, yeah, I think very rare times that I slept off by 11 in the night, and yeah, that was a very good sleep. I woke up at 7, I guess.
What is the hardest problem you have solved till now? Can be anything, like in general in your life, and how did you solve it?
Hardest problem that I've solved. I think mm, yeah, there was this one time in AV where there was a discussion going on in the pinger detection task. So for that, like the team was not attempting this finger detection task since the previous years, and this year they decided to do so. And when I was just going through the modeling of what they had done, uh, they were they were doing it using time of arrival of differences of the finger signal to the hydrophone that were attached onto the bot. But I just asked them that why why are there only two hydrophones? How will we ever detect pinger using sorry, not two hydrophones. There were three hydrophones. So my question was, why in this model you have only three hydrophones? Because I don't think the detection will be possible. And then I think I went ahead with my other software trainees, and we tried to mathematically calculate this arrival of differences and then show it to our seniors that this won't be possible what you are going ahead with. You will need four fingers to sorry, four hydrophones to actually detect that finger. So although it was really simple, but like it was really simple to see when we decided to see it in a certain way, but otherwise it was very challenging for us ki, oh, how will we prove? And uh, like we were I think we were going on with the algebraic way, and then it just hit us that let's try it graphically, and then we saw that.
Tell me the most impactful thing you have done in your life till now, and tell me why. What was uh, what impact was made by your actions?
Yeah, I at so I am in second year and I had taken a drop in my 12th standard as well. So while I was preparing for JE again, there was one 11th standard kid who, sorry, there was one 12th standard kid who used to ask to me that how JEs and all that. And at one point we were really discussing about why you should give the exam or what benefits of it will be there and uh, how like he was telling how he hates the entire subject thing. And I think at that point it is one of the most important things to me as well that um, I I could attempt for joint entrance examination again because I enjoyed my PCM studies. And in fact, at I also told him this that at one point I was counting the pros and cons of attempting for the paper again. And in my pros, my first highlight was that I'll get to study PCM again, which I could not do it properly in my 12th standard. So that is the biggest pro for me. And that is what I advised him as well that uh, go ahead only if this is more of an ideal scenario according to me. And I think after that he started seeing things in a different perspective. And that for me uh, was an event of big impact because uh, like making someone understand that uh, making someone see things in an entirely different light is difficult and impactful, I believe.
Good answer. Okay, so Navneet, that's all what I wanted to ask. Yeah, I also gave you one project thing, right? Come up
Okay.
with the project idea.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so just go through
So,
what you think.
yeah, I was thinking around the lines of I this okay. So, I read some news a few months back on uh, that a lot of these futures and options traders losing their money. Yeah, a lot of FNO traders losing their money and big firms gaining most advantage out of it. So, uh, like, I'm not really sure how I'm very unsure of how a quant project goes. But what I was thinking is if we could somehow mimic the behavior of an actual human who is not using computers as a quant team computers to solve these issues, but rather is going by the traditional way and to somehow predict of what will occur to him if he decides to use uh, these traditional parameters and see how his profit or his entire principle will vary with time. Um, and yeah, while I was thinking about it, I was thinking, ki, how might we do it? So, um, some estimate on how a human mind will think, what sort of time lag will be there in the transfer of information to a computer versus how a human would react. So the time lag would be one important thing. Um, but then I also thought that how can I even model a human mind? Like different people think differently. Even if you remove these quantitative uh, terms from the market, even then someone will make money and someone will lose money. So they'll obviously be thinking in different ways. But I was thinking about some sort of an averaging, I mean, some sort of an average human behavior of how they'll think and how. In a nutshell, I was trying to think about what difference does processing time and this information passing makes on decision making for a person in mind.
Yeah, that's all what I wanted to ask. Uh, yeah, that sums up the interview.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye bye.
Excuse me.
Yeah, yeah.
You also requested for a number of my seniors.
Uh, did you share it on the WhatsApp?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, just share it on the WhatsApp.
I'll share.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye bye.